Hello, and welcome to another ShoddyCast creator commentary. I'm Charles Battersby, the screenwriter who wrote just about everything in Season 3. And the first big secret about Season 3 is that the couple of episodes that you're seeing right now at the beginning, episodes 1, 2, and most of episode 3, were actually written to be as part of Season 2. As Season 2 started to draw to a close, we had an idea that we were going to continue doing episodes on all of the companion characters that you met throughout the games. And as I started writing those, I realized we were dealing with a lot of trivial lore, like the dog characters that you hung around with in all the games, or we were dealing with a lot of pseudo-lore, where the developers had implied a lot of things, but I felt like as a writer I was filling in the gaps for them, or just outright making stuff up. And as we started to come to the conclusion of Season 2, it felt like we were going to stagnate or wither if we just kept covering increasingly irrelevant lore or just making up more and more as we went along to kind of fill out the episodes. So we decided to end Season 2 with the Three Dog episode, which was a great episode, and we had a celebrity cameo, so we felt like we went out with a bang there, and it was time to regroup and try something new. The big idea for Season 3 was that we were going to write it so that Storyteller had his own adventure going on, and whatever he's talking about would somehow parallel something that had happened in the first two Fallout games. We knew at the time that we were doing this that Fallout 4 was imminent. We also knew that there were a lot of Fallout fans that loved Fallout 3 and loved New Vegas, but had never played the older games, and they still loved the world in which the games were set, but they just had trouble with the old mechanics and the old graphics for the older games, so they'd never played them and didn't really know the story, and they didn't know, how the modern games reflected those old stories. When we did the series of episodes that are all set at the Sunset Sarsaparilla factory, that was a kind of trial run at seeing if we could do something that chains 3 episodes together into a longer story. And around the time that those episodes were airing, that's when I was writing the episodes in the later part of Season 2. So I had a real good sense that we probably could make all of Season 3 work so that each episode led directly into the next, and we had the crazy idea that someday we'll edit it all together into a long feature film. And of course, when I started writing this, I was like, feature films are long! There's no way we can make 2 hours out of this! And then, if you sit down and you watch all of Season 3, you'll see that it's actually about 3 hours of footage. So I'm exceptionally proud of the fact that ShoddyCast made Fallout, the movie, something that Hollywood has never been able to do in 20 years, so yay us. Plus, there were a lot of new fans that had just discovered the series when we were near the end of Season 2, and they were binge-watching all of Season 1 and all of Season 2, and we get little comments on the new video saying, well, I just discovered this yesterday, and now I'm already at the end. So I was particularly excited with the idea that there would be people who are binge-watching Seasons 1, 2, and 3 as Fallout 4 would release. The quest that the Storyteller and his new pals go on during the framing device in Season 3, that was something that was originally developed a few months earlier. It was before Fallout 4 had been officially announced, but the parent company of Bethesda had contacted me, and they had been watching the Fallout lore series, and they contacted me and said, gosh, Mr. Battersby, we've got a game coming up that we can't tell you what it is, but we think you'd be right to be a quest designer on it. And I went through their application process and waited a couple months to hear back from them, and I was so smug. I thought for sure that I was going to be hired to be lead narrative designer on Fallout 4, and so I sat down, and while waiting to hear back from them, I pretty much wrote my own Fallout game. So most of the things that you see in Season 3 of ShoddyCast series, those are ideas that I had for quests or for companion characters or villain groups that would have gone into Fallout 4 if the nice people at Bethesda had chosen to hire me. But hey, Bethesda's loss is ShoddyCast's gain. One of the things that I'm really proud of about my idea for Fallout 4 is I came up with the idea in 2014 to have the characters meet a teenage Arthur Maxon who'd grown into this prodigy of warfare, a tactical genius even though he's a teenager. And he had joined the Brotherhood Outcasts after abandoning the Capital Wastelands version of the Brotherhood of Steel. And so what I came up with to happen to Arthur Maxon was almost identical to what they did in the real storyline for the Brotherhood. So about this episode, we see here that the storyteller is making fun of Talius for being this talkative smarty-pants. And in Season 2, we had depicted the storyteller almost like he's a traveling performer, and when he arrives someplace, all the children or all the townsfolk gather around so that the storyteller can dazzle them with tales of the wasteland. With Season 3, we kind of flipped that around, and we introduced Helen Tanner specifically as someone that wouldn't get along with the storyteller, and he knows that she hates him rambling on, so he tells these stories in the first half of Season 3 just to annoy Helen. And as storyteller here is being condescending about how Talius talks too much and he's a smarty-pants know-it-all, those are the traits that later other people will ironically see in him. And as I said, I was getting a little experimental as we were pulling into the end of Season 2, so we got Storyteller bursting into song, which, sure, why not? Why not? I think my exact email to the director on this had the title, "I have a crazy idea." And I ended up emailing Jason, the voice actor, and saying, so, Jason, can you sing a little bit? And his immediate response was, I can do a little Johnny Cash, I guess. And at that point, it had already been in my thought of doing, A Man Named Ed to the tune of A Boy Named Sue. So it was destiny that this should happen. And I love the way that the animators put in the sing-along bouncing thing at the bottom so that you can sing along with the Ballad of Ed here. The reason that I lumped Ed together with Talius is because it fits with the idea that your character was betrayed and manipulated by a dishonest overseer. You think in the first couple minutes of the game when you're creating your character that, yeah, I'm the badass, I'm the whole vault that's best suited to go out and save the world, and then right at the beginning, you find the dead body of the other idiot that was sent out before you to do this mission. Then later in the game, you meet Talius, and you find out it's like, you weren't even the second choice, you're the third choice, and you were probably just the best of what's left at that point. Oh, and look at that, we're at the end of the episode. If you like these creator commentaries, let us know. Tell us in the comment section on our Patreon page. And if there's an episode that you would like us to cover, or if you'd like to hear from the director, the machinima artist, the voice actors, the editors, let us know, and we will do more commentaries on whatever episodes our Patreon donors like. Once again, I'm Charles Battersby. Thanks for listening.